Good evening, class. Tonight's feature film is going to shed some light on infertility. Infertility can be defined as the inability to conceive a child after at least 12 months of unprotected sex. There are many different causes of infertility in both males and females. Infertility significantly affects both partners' emotional health. In this two-part series, you will first see psychologist Pillai meeting with our client Jocelyn. Jocelyn was visiting her primary care doctor when she told him about being extremely upset about her and her husband receiving the news of their infertility. The physician is called in Pillai to conduct an assessment.
Dr. Payne, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. The doctor referred me to come in here and just talk to you for a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, do you want to talk to me a little bit about what's going on and we can see if we can come up with any solutions for you?
Sure. I don't know if you're gonna be able to help me, but I'm just frustrated. I feel like I've just been through so much in the past couple of years with doctors, and it's very frustrating. And I guess I just kind of hit the final straw today, and I can't believe it. I've done this for 2 years. I've been doing fertility treatments for 2 years straight, and the doctor just says, you know what, sorry, there's nothing else we can do for you. It's like, what, so I did 2 years of this for nothing? And I just feel like I don't even want to look at the doctor. I don't even want to be here.
Well, it sounds like you're frustrated, reasonably so. I mean, this is clearly something that's very tough for you and that you've been going through for years.
Yeah, it's honestly the worst thing I've ever been through, ever.
And I don't want you to go too much into it, but can you just kind of explain to me, how it's making you feel a little bit?
Well, I mean, I, I've been, I guess somebody told me the other day that they noticed that I've been skipping work a lot lately. And at first I was pissed, and I got really mad at them for pointing that out, because it's like, well, no crap. I don't feel like getting out of the house. I don't feel like going to work. I cry all the time, and sometimes I get angry, and I just lash out at people even when I don't need to, and I just kind of feel like wherever I go, this problem goes with me, and now it's just going to be 10 times worse because I know there's no hope. There's no hope anymore.
I hear what you're saying. And I don't know if you're ready to right now, but would you be interested in maybe doing an assessment with me, and I can just kind of see different things that maybe we can work on together in the future while you're coming to your primary care doctor? Because I know, and we can talk about that as well, that relationship.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. I guess I should do something now instead of just letting it go and getting even worse.
Okay. Well, it's a very brief assessment, and if at any time you feel as though you want to stop, just tell me and we can stop. And we don't have to finish it, okay?
Yeah, sure.
But let's see if we can.
Okay.
So the first question is, any reminders? So let me just explain what you're going to do. It's in the past 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to kind of tell me from 1 to 4, and 0 to 4, excuse me, kind of how you feel about any of the different subjects.
Okay. So like 4 is really bad and 0 is I'm fine.
Yeah, let me read it to you. But yes, that's very good.
Okay.
So 0 is not at all. You're not feeling anything. 1 is a little bit. 2 is moderately. 3 is quite a bit, and 4 is extremely.
Okay.
So just like you said.
Sure.
So how much have you been distressed or bothered by any of these difficulties? So question number 1. Any reminders brought back the feeling about it? And by it, I mean
That's definitely a 4.
Had trouble staying asleep?
Yeah, I do have trouble sleeping. I do sleep sometimes though when I just get exhausted and crash, so like a 3.
Other things kept making me think about it?
4.
I felt irritated or angry?
3.
I avoided letting myself get upset when I thought about it or was reminded of it.
1.
I thought about it when I didn't mean to.
4.
I felt as if it hadn't happened or it wasn't real.
4.
I stay away from things that remind me of it.
I would say a 3. I do that sometimes.
So maybe moderately? Moderately
Yeah.
2. Okay. Pictures about it pop into my mind.
4.
I was jumpy and easily startled in the last 2 weeks.
0.
I try not to think about it.
3.
I was aware that I still had a lot of feelings about it, but I didn't deal with it.
3.
My feelings about it were kind of numb.
2.
I found myself feeling or acting like I was back in at the time. So
4.
I had trouble falling asleep.
2.
I tried to remove it from my memory.
4.
I had trouble concentrating.
3.
Reminders of it caused me to have physical reactions such as sweating, trouble breathing, nausea, or pounding heart.
4.
I gave 3 more questions. You're doing a really good job getting through the questions, okay? I can see that this is hard for you. I had dreams about it.
Oh yeah. 4.
I felt watchful and on guard.
0.
I tried not to talk about it.
2.
So especially that last one, I feel honored that you're coming and you're talking about it, and I think that's a real strength and a positive.
Well, like a lot of people don't listen, they don't really want to hear about it, so I guess it kind of feels a little bit better to get it out.
So from doing the test and scoring it, you're pretty high as far as the PTSD clinically is concerned.
What's that?
So it's post-traumatic stress disorder. So if something happens that is traumatic, you're reliving the events, you're feeling them almost like they're happening to you again. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I kind of revisit every doctor's appointment, every time they say, nope, sorry, it didn't work. It's just, it kind of hits me all over again. And it's like, as soon as I start to feel a little bit better, it just comes right back. Does PTSD ever go away?
So it's definitely something that we can work. It's a workable, I would say. I won't call it a diagnosis. I don't want to pathologize it, but it's something that we can work through, right?
Okay.
And I think that what we should do, if you're okay with it, is while you come back to your care doctor, we have some sessions that we do some cognitive behavioral therapy and see how we can kind of help you in this process. Is that something that you're interested in?
Yeah, because right now, like I said, I can't even get to work for a full week. I can't even deal with talking to anybody, and me and my husband are fighting all the time, and like something just needs to change.
Okay. And I also might recommend a referral to another psychologist that can also help you with these skills. Okay. So let me get that paperwork and everything for you. And again, thank you so much for opening up. I really think there's hope here, and we can do goals that get you back to work, feeling better. There is life after this, right?
Yeah, I guess there has to be. Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you for opening up to me.
The assessment ply used was the Impact of Events Scale, revised. The client is asked to respond to each statement, reading it between 0 and 4. The therapist then adds up the total number. Scores above 24 show that PTSD is a concern. Scores 33 and over is a solid cutoff for a PTSD diagnosis. And scores of 37 or more represent that the issue has negatively impacted the client to the point where their immune system functioning can be compromised. The next clip fast forwards to after Pillai agrees to start seeing Jocelyn for a brief cognitive behavioral therapy. This technique has been proven beneficial for clients struggling with an infertility diagnosis. The clip begins with Pillai going over Jocelyn's homework assignment from the week before. Pillai had Jocelyn create a thought catalog, which is a common CBT technique. They're going over it now.
To fill out the worksheet than it was last time.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Any reasons why you think that might be?
It was a little easier not to focus on all of the negative things, and it was a little bit easier to try to change the way I was seeing certain situations.
So kind of that reframing that we've been talking about last
Yeah.
couple of times I've seen you. Okay, awesome. Well, let's go through your homework and kind of see where you're at.
Okay. Well, I did the worksheet that you gave me on thoughts and like certain situations. So, what happened was I was outside in my yard and the neighbors were having a birthday party for their son. And there were a lot of kids, they were playing, having fun, the parents were watching them, and it kind of hit me out of nowhere. I was having a pretty good day until I walked outside to hang up the laundry, and there's the kids, and it just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. So at first I just felt really sad. I started crying, and I wanted to kind of run back in the house, but I just kind of stood there like frozen. And I had a lot of thoughts running through my head, kind of, but the first one that came to me was that I'll never be happy, because I saw how happy the parents were and that they were all having a good time with the kids, and I just thought, like, I'll never be that.
And that's kind of something that is reoccurring when you talk about the situation. It's kind of you'll never be happy. So what else, moving through the homework?
Well, I kind of like saw myself alone in the yard, and I think that kind of made me feel worse, just because like there wasn't anybody to go and talk to about it. Like my husband was at work and I was just home alone, and it kind of made all of those bad thoughts seem true. So I started to try to think of some of the positive things, and it took a while. It did. I did kind of stand there in the yard like an idiot, crying for a little bit, but...
What did you say, like a what?
Like an idiot.
So you're an idiot.
Okay, yeah, so that's kind of... I don't really mean that. I don't really feel that way about myself, but I do catch myself saying stuff like that all the time.
So that's something else we can talk about. But keep going, because I'm so glad that you came up with these positive thoughts. So what did you come up with?
Well, that seeing kids happy does make me smile. So even if in the back of my head I kind of do feel bad because I know I'll never be a parent, it does still make me glad to see kids happy and having fun. And like all those kids seem like they have really good families and good parents. So that was a good thing. And there's nieces and nephews that I have that I can spend time with, so I'm not really alone all the time, even if I was alone at that moment in the backyard. So really, I could have picked up the phone and called someone. I could have gone to see my nephew and taken him to the park or something, and at the time I just chose not to do that, and I sort of like isolated myself. So like next time I guess I should go and do something instead of just sitting there alone at home.
Yeah, and what are some things that you can do?
Well, like I said, spend time with my nieces and nephews because, you know, they are cute. I could spoil them. Also, I am really close with my sister, so I should have talked to her about how I was feeling. And even though my husband does work a lot, he's allowed to take breaks, and I could have picked up the phone and said, hey, like, I'm having a bad day, like, can we just talk? You know, and I didn't do that.
It's a great resource. It's a great resources.
So you also asked me to think of alternative thoughts, and I put that I may be sad now, but there are other things in my life that have worked out really good. So not everything is perfect. You can't always get what you want, and I have a lot of things that are good and positive. So even when it's hard, I do try to focus on them. So yeah, that's what I came up with.
You did great with your homework, and I'm glad to see that we're, making some type of progress, and that you're really able to change your thoughts and reframe them.
Yeah, I mean it's easier sometimes than others. Like sometimes I have good days where it is easy, and then other days I just like I might sit there for hours and cry, and it might take all that time to get out of it and to feel even a little bit better, like good enough to get up, take a shower, do my hair, and I don't know, go to the store or something. But I mean, eventually I feel better. It's just sometimes it takes a long time.
And